Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the Catching the Facts podcast here on the Catching the Facts official podcast network. I'm your host, Dan Sisk.
And I'm Schroeder.
And guys, we had the NFL draft in Pittsburgh this past week. It was actually a pretty, from what I saw, Eric, and I know you went down, so please by all means tell your draft story. But from what I read, it really wasn't that bad because I think of people were expecting more of a crowd. So a lot of people just kind of chose to avoid it. So the actual crowd itself wasn't too terrible. So that's good. I mean, it sounds like it wasn't a disaster, at least for people who were down there.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, they said it was the draft record, but it didn't feel like it because there was people everywhere. There was people, across the river from the stadium, people inside the stadium, and then obviously at the draft stage. It was really easy to get down there. You can pick a shuttle from pretty much anywhere you want. So we didn't hit too much traffic, in that sense. So it actually worked out pretty well. It was pretty easy moving around, like, there was no, like, bottlenecks or anything, maybe just at one point, like, getting into the actual area, but other than that, I mean, it was really smooth and it was good. It was a good time. Even though I said I wasn't gonna go down, I broke and went down, but it actually ended up being fun.
yeah, well, again, it didn't look like it was too bad. So I
No,
can see
yeah.
how it was. I can see how it would be a fun experience. So I'm glad you got to go down. That was really cool. Um, But yeah, guys, so the draft happened. What we're going to do, there are three big quarterback developments in the second round or later that Eric and I wanted to touch on because we actually have a lot to say about these three quarterbacks. And then after we touch on those three QBs, we're going to go through the entire first round and analyze each team's pick, and we'll give you our thoughts. So, Eric, you ready to get started?
I am ready to go.
Okay. I just want to state off the top of the record, fuck all of you who reached out to me demanding a take on Aller. I really do not appreciate you. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you are willing to listen to this show, but the fact that I have to do this is really depressing and I don't like it. So I want to put the blame on you. Um, Eric, Drew Aller was picked in the third round by the Pittsburgh Steelers. When this happened, my heart sunk. I was disgusted. I was mortified. I was just completely devastated that they pulled another Kenny Pickett. I want to hear your thoughts before I go off on this pick because I'm sure you have a very interesting take personally, but
Yeah, it's an interesting move for sure. I mean, they drafted Will Howard in the 6th round, what when was that? Maybe what was that last year or 2 years ago? Anyway, it doesn't matter. They
yeah,
drafted him. He hasn't or no, they drafted him last year. He hasn't played a single game, hasn't seen the field. I understand Aaron Rodgers was there and he was, he was playing okay football. He was getting them by. But now it's like Aaron Rodgers, he might come back, but I think it's now time to develop a younger quarterback that you just drafted. Why go out and draft Drew Aller, who barely played in 2025? He had an okay year in 2024. I don't really I don't really understand it. Um, the Penn State team he was on wasn't great, really ever. And I
right,
don't know. I don't like the pick really at all. He had one good year, maybe yeah, like one good year. It was his junior year at Penn State, and it wasn't even like that special. I mean, he had 3,300 yards.
yeah,
So, and then obviously he played half the season last year. He's still questionable with that foot injury or whatever it is. So, that's a big concern coming into the league. We don't really know how he's going to adapt because I didn't really think he was that great in college, and I feel like this is a big reach, even in the third round.
yeah, yeah. Um, Eric, thank you for your very wise and astute observations. I really appreciate it. Um, I hate this pick more than I can put into words. Um, Listen, it's not going to be as bad of a pick as Kenny Pickett because Kenny Pickett was a first round pick, right? I
Right.
mean, inherently, it's not going to be as bad of a pick. Um, but you are assuming that Aaron Rodgers, who my gut tells me he'll be back. Personally,
I
now
think
I
he
could
will.
be wrong, but my gut tells me he'll be back. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yep.
So, like, I don't think he wants to go through the Jordan Love process again, dude. Like, he already did that, and obviously, whatever he mentored Love on worked because Love has turned into a really solid QB for the Packers. But I just haven't. There's no indication that Aaron Rodgers would be willing to mentor another player. So from that perspective, neither Will Howard or Drew Aller will develop properly under Rodgers. So that's number one. Number two, he was awful. I told you the story, Eric. I was at the Northwestern game, the game where Aller got his season-ending ankle injury and Franklin got fired. They cheered when he got hurt. The crowd cheered. They cheered. The Penn State faithful cheered. Okay? The fans turned on him completely. They booed him every opportunity they get. Every time he was in a big situation, every single time he choked. Every single time. You can't point to one big game where he stepped up in a big way against a top tier team. His biggest
That's
win
yeah.
was what? Boise State? Boise State in the playoff. That's his biggest win. His biggest career win is Boise State.
And that's also that was his best year. I mean, and
Yeah,
like I said, his best year wasn't that good. He was 1-7 against top 10 opponents in college.
exactly. And the one was Boise State.
Exactly. Who were
like
yeah.
like with all due respect, was not the number 4 team in the country.
It was no Ashton Genty. It was just Ashton Genty. That's it.
Exactly. And he was a stud, but that's the only player they had. And
Yep.
so I look at this pick and I can understand the reasoning for taking a chance on a quarterback in the third round. But how many quarterbacks work out who are drafted in the third round or later?
Yeah.
I mean, right off the top of my head, Brock Purdy, and that's it. At least in the league right now. Am I wrong about that? He's the only one I can think of. That
Yeah, and
didn't
I
work
mean, even
out.
he's not like I mean, he's honestly he's declining pretty quickly.
He is
I understand
declining.
the team around him is also collapsing, but I mean, it's like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I just whew, I saw that. I legitimately wanted to throw up. I vented to you. I vented to my family. I vented to my friends. I had to vent because I was just like, oh my god, I can't get away from him. Um, I mean, I can't wait to have his baby face plastered all over Acrisure, on the advertisements. That's gonna be like haunting. It'll be like Toy Story, characters on, being used to advertise the Steelers. Who asked for that? There's and everything about him I don't like. Look, he has the size. He's 6'5" or 6'4". And he's got the size to succeed in the NFL. Eric, he really does. And he also has the downfield game. He can throw a deep ball. He has the arm. But all of his issues are mental. All of his issues. And
yep,
you can't train for that. You can't get those instincts out of a player. You can't do it. No matter how well you coach him, no matter how well Rodgers may or may not mentor him, that's not how you develop a QB. The QB has to have the intangibles and the brain, and then you operate around that. That's how you develop a QB. And Aller just does not have the mental fortitude to succeed in the pros. He just doesn't have it. Um, that interception with 10 seconds left against Notre Dame, that's like that's an image that will remain burned in the eyes of many Penn State and or Steelers fans for the next however long, however many years Aller's in this on this team. And that's just the truth. And I've yet to see proof, Eric, that whatever he does will be able to get that image out of my head. I've yet to have any proof of that. So I am down on this pick. I really hate that I had to talk about it. I didn't want to. I don't want to talk about Drew Aller anymore, man. I didn't want to. Um, but I have to talk about it for this show. It is what it is. Ugh,
Yeah, it's
I just
I mean, I understand why they would take him, I guess. He's an intriguing prospect. I mean, like you said, he's 6'5", 220. I mean, on paper, he looks good, but if you actually watch him, nothing that really I've seen him do impresses me, to be honest. So,
I agree with you. Now, again, let's also be
his
fair.
arm strength
He
is good though, like you said, but I
Yeah,
mean, he makes too many mistakes.
he does. And let's also be fair. He was probably running the well, not probably. He was run in the wrong offense. Franklin ran
Yeah,
RPO, and he's not an RPO quarterback. You got to put him under center. That's always been his specialty. And the Penn State never ran their offense around him. Specifically, James Franklin never ran their offense around him. Now, my counter would be: do you really think Aaron Rodgers is going to be under center next year for the Steelers? I mean, the Steelers want to rely on some running backs. They've always been a team that prioritizes running backs. Now, maybe that'll change under Mike McCarthy, but I've yet to see evidence of that. So I'm not even convinced that Aller's in the right system right now to develop him.
yeah.
I'm completely down on this pick. I frankly, I couldn't hate it more. One of the worst things, Eric, was watching all the reactions and all the fans like in Acrisure were cheering when it happened. And I was like, how are you cheering for this? Like, did any of you watch a single frame of his season last year? His performances against UCLA and Northwestern, that gets you run out of town. That gets you cut
Yeah.
by a pro team. Cut. I'm sorry. Cut. Gone, done. It's over. And I don't know how anyone could be supportive of this pick, even if it's only a third rounder. If he was drafted in the fifth or sixth, different conversation. But third,
I
I
agree.
I
Yep.
would have rather taken a safety. I mean, the Steelers
Yeah.
needed a safety, and I would have I would have drafted a safety in the third round. I would not have done Drew Allen in the third round. I'm completely down on this pick. I hate it. I hate it. Can we please move on, Eric? I don't want
Yep.
to talk about it
Yeah,
anymore.
we can move on. Yep, just too much of a reach. We don't know how he's gonna do. He's injured still, so yeah, we can
Yeah.
move on.
Okay.
She
Awesome.
sucks.
You're right. Um, Okay, guys, Cade Klubnik is the other one of the other quarterbacks we wanted to talk about. He was drafted in the fourth round by the Jets. Okay, Eric, Cade Klubnik has had a history of really solid play in the NCAA. Last year was really bad, really, really bad. Do we believe that Cade Klubnik can turn it around? Because he has undeniably shown the ability to deliver over a period of time. Um, do you think there's any chance that the Jets gets anything out of him?
It's a possibility. I mean, their quarterback room is not looking good. It's Geno Smith, Brady Cook, and him, and Cade
Good
Klubnik, and then
God.
Bailey Zappi. So,
Woo!
I mean, he's in the right place
God
because if
help him.
Geno Smith gets hurt, obviously they're gonna go with Geno just because of what he was doing. I guess what was that 2 years ago in Seattle.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, yeah, I guess why not? This is a perfect situation for him. He's just he like you said, he has grown as a player. He has pretty good timing, good accuracy. They always ran him in that um like the shotgun where he could be able to just drop back. But that's kind of where his issue kind of stems from. His pocket presence probably could be a little better. But still, I mean, you could teach that easily. It's
Yeah.
not like a Drew Aller situation where he's kind of throwing into traffic and getting picked off. He's throwing in the traffic and making good throws and fitting in tight windows. That's kind of what you want from a young quarterback because he's just going to get better. So I
Very
think this is
true.
the perfect situation for him. Um, Decent coach, I guess. Aaron Glenn's decent. We'll see how they can develop him, but I mean, I think this is a good pick for the Jets, and it's a good spot for Cade Klubnik.
Yeah. I mean, look, the reality is that the Jets do an atrocious job developing quarterbacks. So he's got
Yeah, they
an
do. Yeah.
inherently he's got a barrier. And it's not like Geno Smith is someone I want to learn from. Like what's Geno Smith done?
No.
you know?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but
Yeah.
I do believe that while I do think Kate Klubnik has a bad attitude issue, he had a lot of attitude issues last year. One or two of which we covered on the show. Um,
Yep.
I think he's I agree with you. I think he has intangibles that can be developed if harnessed correctly. Um, but honestly, I see him kind of as a backup. I think he could be a solid backup in the NFL. I don't know if that will be with the Jets, but I think he'll get a backup position somewhere in the league. And again, I do see the potential for him to be respectable. I don't see him ever being a starter unless unless he overperforms, which is very, very possible.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, we'll see. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I feel like Klubnik is one of those situations where it's very much a wait and see, and
Yep.
um, we got to see him in camp. I'm really interested actually to see the camp footage of him working with Gino. I'll be curious to see how he looks. Because again, I do think he has the intangibles. I agree with you 100%. It's just about whether or not he can become an efficient backup in the league, like I do think he can be. So we'll see
Right.
what happens. He's very
Yeah.
much a wait and see
It
situation.
does kind of suck though that he's on the Jets because I mean they have, like you said, they don't have a history really of developing good quarterbacks. I mean, what, this is their 10th quarterback in 5 years, I think. So since they drafted Garrett Wilson. So I mean, and then we know that Geno Smith is going to start, obviously, and I would not want to be learning from Geno Smith. So
I
yeah,
wouldn't either. Yeah,
but
we'll see
yeah,
what
we'll see what
happens.
happens. I think he'll be good somewhere else. He's not going to be good for the Jets, but he'll be good somewhere else.
I honestly agree with you. I do think he can be a backup. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. It'll
He
be
just
like
has
a
to.
Mason Rudolph situation where he can come in and win some games for you, but he's not going to start.
Exactly. I think Rudolph's a great comparison. I think Rudolph's a great comparison. He's a little more athletic than Rudolph. He can run a little more.
Right.
But they are very similar quarterbacks. I agree with you. I think Rudolph's a good comp for him. And I do think he has that potential. No matter what happens with Rodgers and, whether or not Rudolph stays, Rudolph will get a backup position the second he leaves the Steelers, right? He's
Exactly.
got a, he's
Yeah.
got a job until he chooses to retire.
Yep.
So that's valuable. And we'll and
That's
we'll
all.
see
I
if
mean, you just got to be good enough, man, to beat two other
you're right.
guys. You
You're
don't even have to
100%
start.
right. 100% right. So we'll see if Klubnik can do that. And then,
Yep.
again, I do think he can.
And I mean, with this quarterback room, he should very well be able to.
I agree. I agree. Okay, guys. Last quarterback we're going to talk about before we dive into the first round. Carson Beck, former Georgia Bulldog, former Miami Hurricane, was selected in the third round by the Arizona Cardinals. Eric, this man was left to die. Let's pour one out for Carson Beck. He has just been thrown to the wolves. He's been thrown to one of, if not the worst organizations in professional sports. Um, I think you can only really argue that the Jets and Browns are worse than the Cardinals, and I truly believe that. I think the Titans are better than them. I'm not even kidding. They are an atrocious organization. I think Beck is his career's over. It's sad to say that. I know that's very hyperbolic, but I think the Cardinals are so awful in every conceivable way that I don't think Beck has a chance. I really don't. So that's it.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Carson. You were relevant for a hot minute and you were fun to talk about, but it's over. Done.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. He's in a good situation. Gardner Minshew he's their backup, but Jacoby Brissett,
Oh,
who, what? I mean, how old is Jacoby Brissett?
too
He's
old.
so old. So he's in a good situation with Kyler Murray leaving, of course, and he's played in pro style offenses his entire career with being at Georgia and being at Miami. So that
Yeah.
helps. I mean, he gets the ball out quickly. He actually started to get the ball out a little quicker this year when he was playing for Miami, which was good because I think this year he kind of let his ego get aside. He's like, okay, I got to lock in, like, because I'm probably not going to get drafted if I keep playing like this. Because if you remember his years at Georgia, they were good, but they weren't great. He wasn't no
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett. So um, yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what he does, but I don't think it's really going to be anything special. I never really liked Carson Beck too much just because of his attitude, but I don't really like his play either. So I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see what he does, but he it's kind of like another situation where he's in a good spot. 90-year-old Jacoby Brissett and then Gardner Minshew, and Keaton Slovis. So he's in a good spot, but I don't think he's gonna really do anything for really anybody ever. So, but we'll see. Prove me wrong. I've been down on him his whole career. So
Yeah. I was down on him for a large chunk of last season. He proved us both wrong by getting to that national championship game. I mean, his performance against Ohio State was incredible. It really was.
yes, yes,
So uh, I wouldn't. I'm not going to say I'm rooting for him. I'm not rooting against him. Um, but I just think he's in such an awful situation that it's going to be damn near impossible to get out of. Now, let's be fair. Sam Darnold was drafted by the Jets. He ended up going on to win a Super Bowl. So
very
anything's
true.
possible. You know, we live in an era where a lot of quarterbacks are drafted into horrible situations, but coaches who know what they're doing are able to get their hands on said quarterbacks and turn them into really solid performance. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, there's a couple other, there's a few others on that list. Could Carson Beck be one of them? I guess it's possible.
Eh,
The fact that he's a
yeah,
third round pick doesn't help him, doesn't help that argument. The fact that he fell to the third round, I feel says a decent amount. But again, I think he's certainly earned himself a chance, and we'll see if he can take advantage of the situation because Jacoby Brissett is a career backup. That is not, you know, that is not a job
yeah.
that
He's
is going to
not
be
the answer.
impossible for him to get. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yep.
I think jury's out on him. But I think the team who picked him inherently puts him at a disadvantage. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
what it
Agreed.
is. But okay, that's all I have on the post first round stuff. What about
Yeah.
you?
That's all I got as well.
Okay, guys, we're gonna be moving on to the first round picks. Um, so Eric, you want to just get started with the number one overall and give your
Yeah. I mean,
thoughts?
we knew who this guy was. We knew he was gonna get drafted since
Yeah,
what, maybe January, December, even.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah,
Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders quarterback. Indiana. We know he's good. We know what he's been doing. I mean, there's not really much to say on him. He just has to. We just kind of have to wait and see what he does. I think he's gonna be good. Um, Hopefully he lives up to the hype. I mean, we were kind of down on him, honestly, until he started really showing out in the playoffs and just going crazy.
yeah.
He was kind of under the radar a little bit, at least for us. So I mean, good for him. He's in a pretty good spot to succeed. The Raiders have done a lot of offseason changes to kind of prepare for him. They've beefed up the O line for Ashton Genty. He has a couple good receivers to throw to, but I mean, it's ultimately what he does, and I think he's going to be the best Raiders quarterback in recent memory, I guess, because there hasn't been really any. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, not since Carr, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
not since Carr have they had a quarterback that's respectable. Carr
right.
wasn't elite, but he could play the game. Like Carr wasn't even amazing. He's certainly the best in a while. Look, this pick's all about Clint Kubiak. If Clint Kubiak can work his Darnold magic on this offense, then they'll be good. I mean, it's really that simple. This team, it will come down to the coach. Hiring Clint Kubiak was as integral a move as Ben Johnson getting hired by Chicago. Look what happened to Chicago last year. I
Yep.
mean, they were obviously look, they're a young team. They couldn't go too far into the playoffs, but they took a huge step forward, right? I think the Raiders
Yeah.
have that potential. And we'll see what happens. But I think this is obviously like you said, we knew it since December. Um, I think this is a very, very strong pick by the Raiders, and it hopefully gives them the quarterback of the future. They've
Yep.
been looking for one for a long time. They've had, as you said, a number of players on offense who are really talented, but do not have the support around them to flourish. I mean, look at Ashton Genty. There were flashes of brilliance, but he was never given an opportunity to really shine because his O line and quarterback play was so bad. So they have the players, they just have to execute correctly. Um, and again, I do believe that Clint Kubiak has the ability to get them to a place where they will execute correctly. So it'll be really interesting to see this team uh, next year. It's going to be really, really interesting. I think they have a lot. I think they have the potential to make the playoffs, not go deep, but make it if Mendoza lives up to the hype, which is a big if. But
Yeah.
I think it's I think a lot of the cards are in their favor. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be
Yep.
good. Fun to watch at the very least. Okay, guys, moving on. The New York Jets drafted an edge rusher from Texas Tech, David Bailey, the best edge rusher last year in all of college football, hands down. He is single-handedly the reason that Texas Tech won the Big 12. He is elite, absolutely elite. He only had a worse he only had fewer pressures last year than Ruben Bain, which is incredible because Ruben Bain was god tier for Miami. I think this is a really good pick for the Jets. They have severe defense issues. Not one interception, Eric. Not one interception all year. Do you realize how bad that is to
That's
not
tough to
have a
do.
single interception all year? Now, look, David Bailey isn't going to be catching interceptions, but he will be pressuring the quarterback
Yeah.
and pressuring the quarterback into potential interceptions. And that is something, again, that the Jets have desperately needed. So I think this is an excellent pick. Excellent, excellent, excellent pick for the Jets. I think he's going to fit in like a glove. And I think he's, again, integral to solve their current defense issues. And we'll see what Aaron Glenn can do with him.
Yeah, I agree. I really like this pick. I mean, he was so explosive last year right off the line. He's so quick, powerful. I mean, he's 6'3", 251. And he can move, man. He ran a 4.5 40. That's
That's impressive.
that's really quick. I understand you're not running 40-yard dashes off the edge, but I mean, any one step, I mean, it can get you home. So, maybe you're gonna see a lot more pressure on the quarterback, and maybe we'll get some interceptions for the Jets next year because last year was so bad. They probably got the least pressure in the league too. I mean,
He
their
probably
defensive
did.
line
Yeah.
was terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a great pick. I mean, it's a second overall pick. You can't really miss, and they didn't. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think this is a really, really good pick. Really good pick. I'm a big fan of it. Do you want to do number three?
yeah, Jeremiah Love, running back from Notre Dame, going to the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, good pick. I like it. He was really good last year, and really his whole career for Notre Dame. He can catch the ball at the backfield, which is big because I mean, who was the that Eddie DeMarcado dude
Amari
from
DiMercato, who dropped the ball at the
exactly,
one. Yep.
exactly. So that's big. I mean, you need a guy that can catch out of the backfield, and he can do exactly that. He's extremely explosive as well. I mean, he's quick, burst of acceleration can get you home, and I think any small gap he's gonna hit. I did see, I think it was him. He had a like some heart problem pop up in like February. But I think it ended up being nothing. So I guess it didn't really matter too much, but it's something to keep an eye on
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a good pick you can't miss, and they didn't. So yeah, I don't mind it. They needed a kind of a household name at the running back position because for the past 2 or 3 years, they really haven't had that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Everything you say is I is 100% correct. But I gotta disagree with you, man. I do not think this is a great pick. Not because Jeremiah Love doesn't have ability. He absolutely does. He was our pick for the Heisman last year. We
Yeah.
both felt he deserved it over Mendoza, and I stand by that. Despite Mendoza's, again, remarkable performance in the playoff. Um, but the Cardinals have so many issues on both fronts. To go with the sexy running back pick feels like something that I feel like now's not the time for the running back. You know what I'm saying? I feel you need to do this. Feels to me, Eric, like Ashton Genty. The Raiders pick Ashton Genty last year when they are a broken franchise. And Genty had moments, again, flashes of brilliance, but he was a shell of what he was at Boise State, not because he lost ability, but because the team around him was atrocious. And so he didn't really get to show that off. And I feel like with Jeremiah Love, it's going to be the same situation where he's not going to have great numbers next year and he's not going to have a lot of, highlight reel runs because the team around him is so awful. Like, I feel I feel this pick would have been better if the Cardinals had spent the last 2 years building up their line and really making it formidable. I mean, who's he going to be lining up behind? Carson Beck,
Right.
a bunch of schmucks on the O line. Like,
Yeah, just yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
I just
But
so again, you're 1,000% right. He's an incredible player. He really is. But I just don't think that this is the time for the Cardinals to be picking a running back when their offense is such a mess. It really, really is. And I don't think now's the time for this pick. And that's why I'm a little lukewarm on it, despite acknowledging how truly gifted Love is, because he's a special player. I just feel he's
yeah.
not going to be. I just don't. I have a hard time believing he'll reach his full potential in the next 2 or 3 years, which is tough. That's
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point because they also just signed Tyler Algier. They get James Conner, who is injury prone. They get him back for another year. So I mean, that's a good point because I don't really know where they're going to put him. I mean, maybe third down back or if James Conner gets hurt again. But, and like you said, who's he going to be lining up? He's going to be lining up against a quarterback room of career backups. So
yeah.
who knows how that will go. So yeah, that's actually a great point. I'm glad you brought that up.
So yeah. I'm so torn because he's so talented. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't think now's the time for the
No,
Cardinals.
yeah, no,
That's why
yeah,
I'm
for
torn.
sure.
But we'll see. Maybe he'll do much better than Nash and Genti did. You never know, right? So um, we'll see what happens. I just think now's a bad time for that pick. That's all. That's all. Um, okay, number 4, the Tennessee Titans selected Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. Side note, congrats on Ohio State having 3 picks in the top 10. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're all deserved. I think all 3 of them absolutely deserve to be top 10 picks. Say what you will, Eric, about how their season ended, but that was a hell of a team. And so good for all of the players who got drafted in the first round. Anyway, back to Carnell Tate. Great pick for the Titans. I mean, Cam Ward has needed a receiver to throw to, and Tate is maybe not as good as Jordan Tyson. You can certainly make that argument. But I think he's definitely a really solid pick. He was undeniably the number 2 option for Ohio State last year behind, obviously Jeremiah Smith. And he performed really well in that role. He knew the role he played on that team and he executed his role damn near perfectly. So I think this is a very, very good pick for the Titans and a much needed weapon that Cam Ward has required last year he had no one to throw to. So this is for his development in particular. This is a crucial pick. So good on the Titans. Good pick.
Yeah, I agree. I really like what the Titans are doing, just coaching staff wise and player wise. I mean, they're getting guys for the young quarterback to throw to. Cam Ward showed glimpses of good play last year. I mean, he like you said, he had no one to throw to. They lost multiple games because passes were just hitting dudes off the hands. It's like you need a guy that can catch in there, and Carnell Tate's the guy. He can go up and get anything. I understand he was the wide receiver 2 on the Ohio State team, but he's behind the number 1 wide receiver in college football, so it's kind
Yeah.
of hard. Yeah, I mean, this is a great pick for the Titans. They're building a great team. They can be sneakily good next year. Carnell Tate can fit right in, wide receiver 1. They can even put him in the slot. I mean, he can line up anywhere because he's used to it. So, yeah, I think this is a great pick. They did a great job. And then they also have, Wan'Dale Robinson and Calvin Ridley as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is a good pick.
Yep. Completely agree. Not much to add, just
No, yeah,
Cam Ward development. I mean, that's what it
yep.
is. We all know it, and I think it's a good pick for them. So good for them. Um. Okay, Eric, number 5.
Yeah, number 5, the New York Giants selected Arvell Reese, linebacker from Ohio State. Yeah, this is another good pick, I think, of course. I mean,
Yep.
Arvell Reese played so good last year for them. He was sitting on the bench for maybe 2 years, I think. I mean, he's just a freak athlete. He can like even at his size, 6'4", 240, he ran a 4.4 40. I mean, he's
Yeah.
quick. He's
Wow.
flexible. He can, get to the put some pressure on. Great tackler as well. there's really no downside to this pick.
Yeah.
So it's a good one once again. And then they also have who is it? Abdul Carter, don't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, good pick.
Yeah, I mean, you had to compensate for Dexter Lawrence, right?
Right.
And so I think this is a really good compensation. Um, the Giants are definitely we agree on the way up. I think hiring John Harbaugh was absolutely the right move for them. I don't think they're quite at the level that they need to be yet because I think we both agree that their offense needs development. Specifically Jackson Dart. But they definitely have pieces that could succeed if harnessed correctly. And I think Arvell Reese, kind of reinforces that. So Giants aren't quite there. I mean, maybe they overperform and sneak into a wild card. But I do see the potential for the Giants in the next 2 or 3 years to make a little bit of noise if they keep drafting like this. They just need everyone on the team to continue to develop a little more. And yeah, they have a really solid defense. It'll come down to Jackson Dart whether this team succeeds. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
But I agree with you. Good pick. Okay, guys. Number 6, Kansas City traded up to get this pick, and they drafted Mansour Delane, the corner from LSU. I mean, this pick doesn't really require a lot of analysis. Trent McDuffie's gone. They had to replace him, so they picked the top
Yep.
cornerback in the draft. Like he was very. I mean, it's not a very interesting pick. He was very good at LSU. He was one of their only great players all season long. A season that ended up being really a disaster for LSU, if we're being totally honest. He was one of the few bright spots for them. So I think this is a good pick by the Chiefs. We'll see if they can kind of rebound as a team after um, last year, which was rough for them with all the injuries and Kelsey being a shell of himself. Um, I really don't see the possibility of this team winning another Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years unless there are substantial shifts. But I think Delane is definitely a pick that will help compensate for the loss of McDuffie, which was huge. McDuffie's a great player.
Yeah. I mean, not too much to say off of that, to be honest. You pretty much said it all. They're just replacing Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie, they just move up for him. For Delane, they traded it from Cleveland, I think. So yeah, good pick. They like him. I like him. He's really good. He can he had 6 interceptions over the past 2 years. So I mean he's a ball hawk. He can go up and get it. He's 6 foot 187, so he's quick. I mean he can move with these smaller wide receivers too, and even the bigger ones. So yeah, great pick. Nothing wrong with it. Good replacement.
Yeah, completely agree. Eric was number 7.
Yeah, so the number 7th pick, the Washington Commanders selected Sonny Styles from Ohio State. That's what, the third Ohio State guy now off the
Yep.
board. And I love it again. I mean, how can I not? It's just like he was so good last year and just once again his whole career fell in place perfectly with the Chiefs trading up for Mansour Delane and then everyone else kind of falling just in line. So they fell perfectly to him and he's a good fit. He's a great fit, actually. I mean, what um, he runs a 4.4 40. He's quick. He can go up and get the ball. Great in coverage. I mean, not too much to say. He's a great player. Another freak athlete, kind of like Arvell Reese, where he can just kind of play wherever and they can fit him in.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely agree. I think this is a really good pick. The Commanders, again, their defense really collapsed
Yeah.
last year. I mean, frankly, everything collapsed last year with all their injuries. I mean, their entire offense at one point was in the infirmary. But yeah, I think I still believe in this team, Eric. I know that's probably a bit of a hot take, but I do believe the Commanders can recapture a bit of that magic that got them to the NFC title game just a few years ago. Um, and I think this is a really good pick to help make that a reality. Styles is a very good player, very very good player. And again, they really had to make adjustments on defense, especially because again, I think the Commanders were smart to focus on defense because the sheer volume of injuries that occurred on offense last year, statistically, I would imagine that's near impossible to repeat. So I think the Commanders know their offense is good. They just have to bet on health. And they knew that their defense was really what they had to address, and they are. So I think this is a really solid pick. Styles was very, very good at Ohio State. Last year, he was one of their best players. He really was. So I think this is, again, I agree with you completely. Great pick. Great pick. Okay, guys, moving on to number 8 overall. The New Orleans Saints picked Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. Look, the reality is that Jordan Tyson, you can easily argue, is the best running wide receiver in this draft. But the reason he fell to number 8 is because his injury history is pretty extensive. He had a torn ACL and MCL that cost him a whole season. He had a significant collarbone injury in 2024, and then last year he missed a couple weeks with a hamstring. So the guy has a history of injuries, and it's not short. So this is a bit of a risky pick. But I got to tell you, man, they need a complement to Chris Olave. The Saints traded away Rashid Shaheed, who is, I still maintain, one of the most underrated receivers in the sport.
I
Chris
completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Olave needed a number 2, and I think Jordan Tyson, despite the injury concerns that are undeniably there, he has been one of Arizona State's best players for a couple years now. He probably, honestly, his 2024 was so good that if he didn't have that collarbone injury and missed significant time, we probably would have been talking about him, that incredible year they had, rather than Cam Scatterbo. He was that good, and
Yeah.
he's got immense potential. So the Saints, and to an extent, are a bit of a cursed franchise. I would not be surprised if this pick ends up being a bust, to be honest with you, solely because of the injuries. But the guy's core intangibles are undeniably there. So if he can stay healthy, I think this will end up being a hell of a pick. So definitely risky, but I think it'll actually. I'm choosing to be optimistic, and I'm going to call this a good pick for the Saints, even though I totally understand why there will be some doubters.
Yeah, I like the pick. I mean, there's really no other wide receiver to go to in that spot, and if Jordan Tyson's there, you have to take him because Mekhi Lemons was the next off the board at like 20 something. So you have to take him if he's there. I understand he's injury prone, which that's another thing for the Saints. Like you said, Chris Olave, I mean, he's been hurt a bunch with all those concussions. Now you get Jordan Tyson in there. It's a risky pick. I mean, it's a big gamble. But you know what he can do when he's healthy, but that's when he's healthy. So, I mean, he could really have, I hate to say this, but he could have a short career. Um, because he's just so injury prone, but you have to replace Rashid Shaheed, who was just honestly became into like a star role for the Seahawks in the playoffs. Didn't really
Yeah,
do much for the Saints, but he was playing really good for the Seahawks. Um, I don't know if I don't love the pick. I think there was areas of need that maybe could have gone before Jordan Tyson and wide receiver, and especially a guy like him, he's very injury prone. But when he's healthy, he's really good. So it's
yeah,
kind of hard to pass on him. Yeah, well,
yeah,
it's just something you have to monitor. If he's healthy, he's going to be really good if he can stay healthy. But if he's hurt, it's not going to be good at all. It's going to be really bad actually, and it's going to be a huge waste of a pick. But you got to gamble, so I don't mind it, but I don't love it though.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a risk. If I were the Saints, I would be incredibly cautious of his play next year. Like,
Yes.
throw to him maybe 3-4 times a game just to get him a little loose, but don't rely on him. You got to rely on Chris Olave. And the Saints are going to be terrible next year. You are not. There's
Yeah.
no world where the Saints are going to level up. So know that, plan for that and just work Tyson slowly into the pros, because that's the only way I think that you can be at least a little cautious of his injury history. So
Yeah,
we'll see how
that would
they
be a
we'll
great
see.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how they play Tyson. We'll see how they play him. It's gonna be really interesting because uh it's high risk, high reward, undeniably. So we'll
Right.
see how it works out. Okay, Eric, number
Yeah.
9.
Number 9, the Browns selected Spencer Fano from Utah, offensive tackle. Good pick. There's nothing wrong with it. They need to beef up that O-line, and they do. They did. So, nothing wrong with it. Not too much to say. He is really good. I think he's one of the best O-linemen in the draft, if not the best. So, there's nothing wrong with it at all. And they needed to address the offensive line issue, and that's exactly what they did. They didn't do anything stupid. This is honestly the perfect pick for the Browns in my mind at this moment.
Yeah, the Browns have I mean, the reality is that they're locked into that Watson deal. So a quarterback play really isn't in the cards. Did you see that there's a really good chance he starts next year?
Deshaun,
Yes. Which
I
is
did
just
see that. Yes.
I just
I mean,
whew,
can we just be done with this guy? Like, I'm just
I
sick of hearing
agree.
about him.
I agree.
I mean,
Well,
he hasn't
we'll talk
played in
about
how
it.
long, and he hasn't been good since Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about it when the season starts. But anyway, because of that, the Browns are really in a box. So
Yeah.
they had to, beef up the other pieces of the team that were in need. And as you said, offensive tackle was a real blank spot. And they got one of the best offensive tackles in the draft, if not the best. My only question is, who's he going to be blocking for? Like,
Yeah,
who's he going
right,
to be blocking for?
exactly.
Like
Yep.
that's really what it
No,
comes
yeah.
down to. So I don't know, man. Like, it's a good pick, but I just don't see it getting Cleveland out of the
Oh, no, it's not.
last
Yeah,
place
no.
in the division. I just don't see it. But
No.
we'll see. See what happens. I mean, the reality is that if you don't have a quarterback, you're done, and the Browns don't have one. So they're
Yep.
I don't see a reality where this pick gets them to the playoffs. But I mean, prove me wrong, Cleveland. Prove me
No,
wrong.
I agree. I don't think they're
You have
going
yet to prove me
anywhere.
wrong. They have
Yeah,
yet to
that's
prove me
true.
wrong. But I
They'll beat
guess
the
anything's possible.
Steelers. They'll split with the Steelers, and then that's the extent of their accomplishments.
Success. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, okay, guys, moving on to number 10 overall. The New York Giants picked another offensive tackle, oh God, Maui Goa. I don't remember how they said it on draft night. I believe it was Maui Goa. I believe I got that right. Forgive me if it's wrong. The offensive tackle for Miami, who was killing it. His game against Indiana was very good. Um, Great pick. I mean, the Giants again do anything and everything to protect Jackson Dart. Um, I think this is a really solid pick. This is, I mean, look, having 2 picks in the top 10 obviously is a great situation. I think and honestly, I think it's really smart, Eric, to pick one defensive player and one offensive player, because I think we both agree that their offense is the side of the ball that the Giants need to develop more. So you could argue that Francis Mauigoa could have been picked at number 5, but I think the reality, Eric, is that Arvell Reese was so good that they didn't want to pass him up. So they took him at
Yeah,
5, and they knew that
yeah,
Mauigoa would
yeah,
fall to 10.
yeah.
So
I like it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And like you said, you can't pass up on Arvo Reese. I mean, he's there. You have to take him.
yeah,
So, because if not, then I mean, I guess yeah, I mean, you're still probably maybe getting Sonny Styles, but still, even at that, it's just too much of a risk to take. But I mean, the cards fell perfectly right in their lap. And I love this pick. I mean, protect your young star, man. Why not?
yeah,
There's so many that I feel like offensive line is just such an overlooked position. I mean, look at the Bengals. They have a star-studded offense, no O-line. Joe Burrow gets hurt every single year, and they
yeah,
wonder why they're not good. Protect your
exactly,
quarterback. I mean,
exactly.
it's as simple as that. So, yeah, I mean, this is such a good pick, and I love what he's done this year. And the Giants, I mean, good draft so far. Nothing wrong with this at all.
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree. Again, not a lot of analysis here. Just protect Jackson Dart. I mean, that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean,
uh,
yeah, I love it.
yeah, I think it's a good pick. Okay, number
Yeah.
11.
Number 11, the Cowboys select Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Safety just fell out of the top 10, but Um, I believe something came up about his knee, so teams were kinda skipping on him a little bit. He had some, like, cartilage or something in his knee, like, extra fluid or something,
I believe you're right.
which I
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really understand. I'm not a doctor, but doesn't sound like something you really wanna have, but I don't think it'll really affect him. I believe, they said he was playing with it all season last year, and look at what he did last year. He was one of the best safeties in the league or in the country. So, yeah, I like the pick. Dallas needs defense because
Yeah.
they traded away one of the best defensive players in the league right now, which being Michael Parsons. So I know a safe doesn't really fill the role, but it helps, and they get a absolute star. I think he'll fit right in. So
Yeah, and honestly, it's not just their defense, Eric. It's Dallas' secondary in particular. I can't tell you how many times I would watch a highlight reel of, a 60-yard pass against the Cowboys. I mean, their secondary play last year, in particular, was bad. So getting a really good safety is absolutely a great pick. So I think this is again a slam dunk pick for Dallas. Great pick, home run. Really, I think
agreed.
it's a really good choice for them.
Great
Um,
value they
I don't,
got him for too.
yeah, and I don't know if he'll, you know, if that injury will potentially arise or if Dallas will be able
I
to
yeah,
level
I
up
don't think
with
it
this.
will.
But I think it's a good step in the right direction for both sides. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I definitely think it's a great pick for Dallas. Okay, guys, moving on to number 12. Another tackle. This one, Caden Proctor out of Alabama, going to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, I mean, is the Dolphins' offense really the side of the ball that you should be focusing on? I mean, the Dolphins have again critical issues up and down. I don't know if an
Yeah,
offensive tackle was really the thing that you had to go for. I mean, I guess it's not the worst
no.
thing you could have done. It's not. So I wouldn't call this a bad pick, like a terrible pick. And he is a massive human being. He's 6'7", dude. I mean, he's a Caden Proctor is a gigantic human being, who was one of Alabama's best players. But again, like who's he blocking for? I mean, it's are we really believing in what the Dolphins are cooking up right now? I mean, they they keep going back and forth between, oh, we're competitive, oh, we're not competitive, oh, Tua is the future, and now they cut Tua. And then they signed Malik Willis, so you're like, oh my god, maybe Malik Willis will level them up, especially with the big contract he got. Even though, as we discussed on this show, Malik Willis had very few games where he delivered. So the fact they gave him that much money is kind of crazy, considering how little he played. So this Dolphins team's a mess. And again, I just don't know if offensive tackle was what you had to get. Um, but I think it's an okay pick. It's fine. It won't hurt because he is just a special human specimen. But I don't see this being a level up for the Dolphins in any way.
No, I don't think it is either. It's a safe pick, sure. If you wanna call it that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this pick. I feel like it's just kind of a pick that the Dolphins make when they don't really know where to go. Remember they traded, that pick to Dallas to get Caleb Downs. That's how Dallas got Caleb Downs. So they traded one back, to get Caden Proctor because they knew he was gonna be there. I mean, yeah, sure, why not? But, I mean, this team is terrible. Look at the wide receiver room. It's Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, and Caleb Douglas.
Yeah,
What's going on here? And then you got Malik Willis, Quinn Ewers, and then Devon Achane, who's good, but he has a little bit of ankle issues. So I don't mind the pick at left guard going with Caden Proctor. Sure, it helps, but is it? I mean, it's not a home run. I don't love this pick. I just like it. It's okay. It's safe. Can't go wrong with it. Caden Proctor, like you said, was one of the best players on Alabama's offense last year, especially up front. He was the best. So nothing wrong with it in that aspect. He's a great player. Nothing, no shade to him. But for the Dolphins, I don't really understand it. I mean, there are a multitude of issues, and even on the defensive side, it's like I don't. It's just a bad pick, I think. But
Yeah.
it's not a needle mover. It's not. And if they want to contend or do literally anything good, you got to take some risks. I mean, so like the Saints are doing with Jordan Tyson. So I don't know. I don't love it. I don't, but it's just okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree with you. I don't hate the pick, but I definitely think there were better uses of the pick overall. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I just think the Dolphins had much bigger needs to address. So we'll see. Okay, let's talk about it. We've been waiting all episode to talk about it. Eric, number 13. Uh,
Oh my, yeah. 13. The LA Rams select Ty Simpson from Alabama, quarterback. Why?
yep.
Why? He sat behind Jalen Milroe, who, granted, was really good at Alabama. Not so good, I guess, in the league. He had that injury or whatever, but still. Yeah, I don't like this pick really at all. I understand Matt Stafford's on his way out. He only has maybe 1 or 2 more years left. Why do we think Ty Simpson's the answer? I'm looking at his draft thing right now. His pro comparison is Mac Jones. That is
Oh,
not the guy you want to be picking at 13 in the first round when there
God,
are a bunch of guys on the board to pick.
you're
I
right.
understand this quarterback class was pretty bad. Ty Simpson at 13, that is absolutely horrendous. I thought Ty Simpson would go second round. He would have been there. Nobody's taking this dude in the first round, especially at 13 so high. That's a rich pick, man. That's a lot to pay for a guy like Ty Simpson, who I really don't think is that good. I don't think he was that good at Alabama.
Yeah,
Um, Jalen Murrow was way better at Alabama. And Jalen Murrow wasn't even that good of a quarterback. He was just a good athlete. So I don't understand this pick at all. Makes no sense. I understand in the aspect that Stafford's retiring soon. Sure, why not get a quarterback? Why so early? He would have been there later.
yeah.
This is a dumb pick, man. I really hate this pick.
I completely agree with you. And here's the thing: I can already see the defenders. Oh, but Jordan Love, guys. Jordan Love played at Utah State. No one knew who Jordan Love was when the Packers drafted him. And not only that, he played under Stafford, or excuse me, played under Rodgers for 3 years. He was the backup to Rodgers for 3 years. He really took his time in learning his skills because he played at Utah State. He didn't play any competition. He had to work his way up to play NFL caliber competition, and it's worked out. Ty Simpson has played NFL caliber competition. He was at Alabama, one of the premier college football programs, and he wasn't good. He started one season, Eric. One year. And it's not like Alabama was a powerhouse program his year that the year he started last
No,
year. Not like he
no,
was.
they
He
were
he he,
not.
they weren't. And so Love, while everyone made fun of it at the time, I was like, let's see how it works because he didn't play anybody. So if you if knowing that he didn't play anybody, you can still spot intangibles that he had. Let's see what you can do with those intangibles, and it ended up working out. Right, Matt LaFleur is just the right coach for Jordan Love. It worked out.
Right.
But Ty Simpson, we've seen him at the biggest stage of in the collegiate scene, and it didn't work. So I completely agree with you. I think the people comparing this to Jordan Love learning under Rodgers, I think those people are crazy. They are very different situations. You cannot compare Love and Simpson when Love had a collegiate record and collegiate career that is not even remotely comparable to Ty Simpson. So I do not think that this is I do not think this is a good pick at all. I agree with you. This pick is way too high.
Yeah.
I would say easily slam dunk the first true dud of the draft.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
True
Alabama had
dud.
4 losses last year. Granted, Ty Simpson, he didn't play terrible. He had 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 64% passing completion. That's pretty average for a guy going that high. That's I mean, that's his touchdown to interception ratio is great. I don't think he's gonna be able to do that in the league.
Yeah,
He's gonna have he's gonna he's gonna throw ducks every game. I mean,
I
I don't
agree.
think he's that good. I don't think he's good enough where Fernand Mendoza, I think he can kinda step right in and feel it out, maybe have a, a down year and then jump right into it. Ty Simpson, I don't he might have a lot of down years before he kinda gets into the groove,
Yeah,
and that's not what you want. So,
I agree.
yeah, I don't like the pick.
Especially when Stafford, as you said, probably only has 2 years left. Like that's
Exactly.
not a lot of time for Simpson to sit behind him. So yeah, I agree with you. Dud pick. Dud completely. Okay, guys, number 14 overall, the Baltimore Ravens picked Oliva Vega Ioane from Penn State, the guard. Is a great pick, man. Tyler Linderbaum left. You had a clear need, on your offensive line, and Ioane is a really really good player, one of the better guards that Penn State's had over the last few years. So they had a need, they filled it. You know, bing bang boom. Not a not a
Yeah.
big analysis required for
Yeah,
this one. I think it's a great pick for Baltimore.
I completely agree. Great pick. He was so good last year, man. Underlooked because he plays on the offensive line. I mean, it's just as simple as that. But,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, he's a great prospect, and like you said, Ravens need a guard, go out and get him. So, yeah, that's really all I got. Good
yeah,
pick.
yeah. No analysis needed, guys. Lamar needs to be protected. And Ioane will do that. So great pick. Okay,
Yep.
Eric, number 15. What was it?
Number 15, it was Ruben Bain, edge rusher from Miami. Good pick. I mean, he was so good last year, man. I think he's gonna
Yeah,
fit in with the Buccaneers. It's gonna be a really good fit for him. I think I could honestly already picture him in a Buccaneers jersey. That's just how fitting it is. Um, I think there was a little scare, I guess, with his draft stock, with that car crash he had a few years
yeah,
ago with that one teammate, but I guess it didn't affect him too much because I mean he's a great player, so I guess teams overlooked that and they don't really care because if you have a good guy that you think it fits or is going to fit really well for your team and he's on that pro style defense, why not take him? So yeah, he was one of the best edge rushers in the class
yeah.
um, coming into this year, and at 15, that's a steal. So I honestly thought he would have went way higher, but yeah, I mean he's a freak.
Yeah, and here's the thing: a lot of projections said he was better than Arvell Reese, and I totally understood that. Like that's how good he was last year, dude. He's an incredible player. There were a lot of issues in his past, which is why he was able to fall. So the fact that Tampa Bay was able to get him is pretty amazing. I think this is an excellent pick. I think obviously the community, Tampa Bay. I know it's on the other side of the state from Miami, but I think that community will, support him and support that
Yeah,
pick. And yeah, I think it's a great fit. It fills a need that Tampa Bay's had. They have had defensive issues the last few years, which has kept them from really leveling up, despite Baker Mayfield frequently playing at MVP level. A lot of their issues come on defense. So this beefs up that defense, make it one of the best defensive players in the draft. So it's a great pick, excellent pick, honestly. Um,
agreed.
yeah, 100%. Okay, guys, number 16 overall, the New York Jets picked Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. Um, Why not? I mean, I think you could easily argue we need to draft a wide receiver to complement Garrett Wilson, but
Yeah.
um, Kenyon Sadiq is a really really gifted tight end. He ran Eric. He's 240 pounds. His 40-yard dash was 4.39. Think about that. That is
Yeah. That's
for a man who
unbelievable.
weighs 240 pounds. That's freaky. Like Kenyon Sadiq, his route running is incredible. Um, his his intangibles are absolutely there. Physically, he is a specimen for the eyes. So I mean, Sadiq is such a rare type of player that I can totally understand why the Jets went with him, even though they had more of a bigger need at wide receiver than tight end. So because he's not a wide receiver, I can't call the pick amazing, but Sadiq is really, really good, so I can't get too upset. I think he's a really solid player and a really solid pick. Again, the question is, will is Geno Smith the quarterback who will, unlock Sadiq's potential? I mean, I doubt it, but I mean, never say never, but I just right now I don't see that happening. But Sadiq definitely has the intangibles needed for the pros, so I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, it's kind of an underlooked and underrated pick in my eyes. I mean, Kenny Sadiq was so good last year, for Oregon. And then there's a good pick for the Jets too, because I mean they haven't had a good tight end in years, man. They had Tyler Conklin, who was just okay, but it's kind of their offensive scheme. They don't really use tight ends too much. I mean, they suck, but they don't really use tight ends too much.
Yeah,
But with his ceiling's pretty high. Sadiq's is. So who knows what's gonna happen? I mean, he ran a 4.39, you said, 40-yard dash. That is unreal at 6'3", 241. I mean,
yeah,
that's some serious speed.
yeah,
Um, so, I mean, if he can like, that's receiver speed right there, and at his size, I mean, watch out for him, man. He can maybe burn some burn some safeties or even corners if they put him out there, they could. He's pretty versatile, so they even put him in the backfield at times, with Breece Hall. So, yeah, great pick. Um, like you said, it would have been maybe a little better if they went wide receiver, but the wide receiver class wasn't amazing this year. From maybe the top like 5 or 6 guys. So good pick though.
yeah. And again, Sadiq is such a rare athlete that I mean his route running is pretty unique for a tight end. So I get it, even
Yes.
though it's not the position that they needed the most help with. So I still like the pick.
Yep,
I
me
still like
too.
the pick. Okay, Eric was number 17.
Yeah, the Lions selected Blake Miller, offensive tackle from Clemson. Yeah, good pick. I mean, why not? Just beef up the O line for Gibbs now that David Montgomery's gone. Um, Lions are a promising team. They're right there. I don't know really what they're missing. Maybe it's an offensive tackle. I don't know what
Yeah,
they're missing, but they're really close. What they got rid of David Montgomery this year. They brought in Isaiah Pacheco. So interesting 1-2 punch, but I mean it could work. So we'll see
yeah,
what happens. But this is a good pick to protect an older quarterback and then also getting the guys in the backfield to clear out space. I mean, Blake Miller was no slouch. I mean, he broke the Clemson career snap record at 3,778.
yeah,
He doesn't get hurt. That's big for an offensive tackle. You see a lot of guys, a lot of ankle injuries just because they're always on their heels.
yeah,
Getting stepped on. So that's a big like I mean, he's agile. So and he's 6'6", 317. So
yeah,
that's some serious size. Um, then so his arm length is what, 34 inches? That's a huge wingspan as well. He can cover a lot of ground. So I like this pick a lot. Um, yeah, nothing really too much to say. Great pick.
yeah. I mean, Taylor Decker, the longtime tackle for the Lions, is gone. So the Lions had a need at tackle, and like you said, Blake Miller. Not only his the fact that he was a 4-year starter, which is pretty amazing. I mean, how many 4-year starters are there these days at the collegiate level? But yeah, as you said, he never got
Right.
hurt. I mean, his you know stability is definitely admirable. So I think this is a really solid pick. I agree with you, man. The Lions are right there. I think they can smell the Super Bowl berth. And I don't know
Yeah.
what I don't know
Yep.
I don't know what they have to do. I don't know what they have to do to get over the hump. Because they are right there. I think they definitely got lucky. I think the loss of Ben Johnson undeniably hurt. Um,
Yes. Yes.
but I still believe in this team. I still believe in them to get back to where they need to be. So we'll see. We'll see. I think this team is definitely one of the more interesting ones going into next year. So and honestly, I think Blake Miller just helps that. They needed a replacement for Taylor Decker, and they got one of the better tackles over the last few years. Certainly one of the most consistent ones. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think it's a really solid pick.
Agreed.
Uh yeah, 100%. Um okay, guys, moving on to number 18 overall. The Minnesota Vikings picked Caleb Banks out of Florida. Um I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, picking a defensive lineman, I guess, isn't the worst thing in the world, because defensive linemen are very valuable. Um, but Caleb Banks was not projected to be a first round pick. This was definitely a surprising choice for the Vikings. Not a lot of people saw it coming. Um, but that being said, dude, Brian Flores kind of knows what he's doing. He's definitely a really, really smart mind on defense. So a lot of people I've seen are hating on this pick. I think I'm going to defend it, largely because I defend Brian Flores. I think if Brian Flores sees something in this kid, he'll be able to, harness it and allow Banks to flourish in the Viking system. So, did the Vikings have bigger needs? You can absolutely argue that they did. But I trust Flores, so I'm gonna go with yay on the pick. Not a slam dunk pick by any stretch, but I think there's a lot of potential upside here if it all goes well.
Yeah, I agree. Caleb Banks, I mean, he was kind of a diamond in the rough at Florida. Florida was so bad,
Yeah.
um, these past couple years, but now that he's in the league, I think he can be very versatile. He can really line up anywhere. You just have to kinda look at his injury history. He broke his foot, like, multiple times since 2024, and then he only played 3 games in 2025, so it's a big risk. But when he's healthy, I mean, there's really no denying that he's one of the best defensive tackles in college football because he really is. But that's once again, if he's healthy. With a lot of these guys, it's kind of if they're healthy. But it's a big swing. I mean, the Giants are kind of thin at the defensive tackle position anyway. And with Caleb Banks being so versatile, he can line up really anywhere, like I said. I mean, why not? Why not take him? So you just have to kind of be careful with that injury history, but if you can kind of get past that, which they obviously did and they took him, why not? He's really good. So, I mean, you see what he can do. Florida was not the best team last year, and I bet a lot of teams weren't looking at Caleb Banks, but Vikings got him. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of potential here, but it's obviously gonna have to be harnessed correctly.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, number 19 overall, Eric. What was it?
Number 19, the Carolina Panthers selected Monroe Freeling from Georgia, offensive tackle. It's just gonna be another one of those why not picks. I mean, just protect your young quarterback. Bryce Young's kind of getting it together a little bit, so why not? Right? He was good at Georgia, so just get him. Just get him. Um, Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have too much to say on this pick because I don't really know too much about Monroe Freeling, to be honest with you. But it's a good pick.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, protect Bryce Young. Like last
Yeah.
year, Bryce Young really stepped up in a way that I think both of us were kind of shocked at. I think both of us were like completely out on Bryce Young. Is that fair to say? And then Bryce
Yes.
Young comes into the season last year, having been benched multiple times, everyone claiming his career was over, and he stepped up and they made the playoffs. They made the playoffs and they were competitive in the game.
Yep.
So I think the Panthers are definitely a team that has a lot of potential. And so I think the number one need right now is to help Bryce Young continue to develop. And you gotta obviously put a lot of bodies in front of him because of how small he is, right? So I think this is a really solid pick for the Panthers. That yeah will help develop develop our son. And again, that's clearly their number one priority at this point. So I like the pick. I like the pick.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, guys, number 20 overall. A lot of drama here. Makai Lemon, wide receiver from USC, was on the phone with the Steelers, and then the Eagles decide to rain on the parade, and they trade up to get Makai Lemon instead of the Steelers. The Steelers were talking to him because they were planning on drafting him at 21, and the Eagles swoop in. Um, I think this is a really good pick, man. Obviously, AJ Brown's gone. We haven't talked about it on the show yet because the deal is not official. But it's looking like once the June 1st deadline passes, AJ Brown is out of there, which is good for all parties. I mean, Brown was a diva last year, and then he was so awful in the playoff game against San Francisco
Yeah.
that I don't really think you can come back from that. And so he's not. He's out of this. He's off the team, and they had obviously had a gap at wide receiver, and the Eagles knew that the Steelers would have taken him at 21, so they made a move. And I think this is a really good pick by the Eagles to replace AJ Brown. The reality is that Makai Lemon did not get a lot of attention because USC for the bulk of the season was irrelevant because their coach is trash and because their defense is always bad. So because of that, Lemon didn't really get a lot of press. But he's a very solid wide receiver. And he's particularly really good in the middle of the field. He had 10 receptions on 14 contested targets in the middle of the field last year, which is pretty amazing for a college player. You normally see receptions like that with the Antonio Brown when Antonio Brown was in his prime, the Antonio Browns of the world, the AJ Browns of the world, the JSN, those kinds of receivers have 10 receptions on 14 contested targets. But it's very rare for a player in college to have a stat like that. And no one acknowledged it because Makai Lemon was on a bad team. But I think this is a really good pick for the Eagles. I think he's going to do great things in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I agree, man. It just depends what Jalen Hurts can do.
Yeah,
Um,
you're
I
right.
think Jalen Hurts is if is it safe to say that he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the sport?
I would agree with you.
I mean, what is he doing? I,
Nothing. That's the
but
answer.
anyway, Mekhi Lemon, I mean, this is a great pick. Like you said, AJ Brown's gone. See ya. I'm sure the Eagles fans do not mind that. He was so bad last year with drop issues. In the playoffs, drop issues all season, drama. It's like it's just such a headache. Um, so why keep him when you can bring in a young stud that you know is going to perform like Mekhi Lemon and steal him from your in-state rivals and their own city? Why not?
Yeah,
So, yeah, good pick. Nothing wrong with it at all. Can't I mean you can't complain, really. And Mekhi Lemon, I'm sure, is much happier to go to the Eagles where he's surrounded by good talent than the Steelers. So
yeah.
good for him.
Yep, completely agree. Okay, Eric, what was pick number 21?
21, the Steelers selected Max Ihanachor from Arizona State, offensive tackle. This was a scramble pick because, like we just talked about, they were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon trying to pick
Yeah,
him, and the Eagles called. So they were kind of scrambling with the 5 minutes or so, however long the draft clock is they had, and they settled for an offensive tackle. It's just okay. It's one of those
yeah,
situations where it's like the Browns. Who is this dude going to be blocking for?
exactly.
Nobody knows. I don't even think the Steelers know. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. If it is Aaron Rodgers, you better block well because he's not going to be able to move. If it's somebody else like Mason Rudolph or Will Howard, even, you got some more leeway because they can actually move their body at a reasonable pace without a walker. But yeah, this is a good pick though, actually considering they were scrambling the way they were. because he's good. I mean, he was the sixth ranked offensive tackle in the draft. They got him at great value at 21. So there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a little bit of a better pick, honestly, than Mekhi Lemon because the Steelers do not need a receiver right now. The receiving room is not bad. So I think offensive tackle is safe, and it's just a replacement for Broderick Jones, who literally might not ever play again with that neck injury. So,
Yeah. Yep.
which is a
Took the
shame.
words right out of my mouth, man. I mean, Roger. The reality is that they've been going with tackles the last few years, and all of them are made of paper mache. Um, Broderick Jones's injury is clearly much more severe than we were led to believe, or else they would not have gone with an offensive tackle. Um,
Yep.
I mean, I mean, when it's not a bad pick, but it as you said, it's not a slam dunk because I mean it's another goddamn tackle. I mean, how many tackles are we gonna
Yes.
draft in the first round?
I believe that's the
Because none of
fifth
them have,
one in a row.
yeah, like none of them have worked out because they all get hurt. So I don't know, man. I don't see this being this a huge step up for the Steelers. I don't see this being a huge move. But he's
No.
he undeniably has ability. It's just,
Yes.
as you said, who's he going to be blocking for? Either a quarterback or a running back. I mean, both rooms are very poor right now. So,
Honestly, dude.
uh,
Yeah, man.
so it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to say the least. But uh, yeah, I think I agree with you. It's only an okay pick.
Yep.
Okay, number 22 overall, the Los Angeles Chargers picked edge rusher Akeem Messidor from Miami. He was one of these red shirts and COVID people. He was 25 when he got drafted. Why a 25-year-old is getting drafted into the NFL, I have no idea. But here we are. Um, I think it's a really solid pick, man. I mean, he's not one of the best edge rushers in the sport, but he's really solid. And he's going to be obviously on off the edge for the Chargers, right next to Khalil Mack, who's one of the best edge rushers in the sport. Um, I think this is another calculated move. We were talking about it with the Giants a little bit, but the Chargers have very serious offensive line issues. I mean, how that playoff game where Herbert just got assassinated over and over and over on live television was hard to watch. But that was because they had a couple injuries on the offensive line, and I think the Chargers are banking that that kind of bad luck won't happen again, which is why they're choosing to stock up on defense instead. The Chargers are another team, man, that just can't break through. Right? We see the talent they have, and we think that they'll be able to finally level up. And then they finish 9-7 and get killed. Or sorry, 9-8 and they get killed in the first round. Like I keep waiting for this team to level up and they don't. I think Herbert has ability. I don't think he has amazing ability, but I think he's capable of leading an offense. So we'll see. We'll see how this team can continue to develop. I don't think Akeem Messidor is gonna like single handedly get them over the hump, but they're definitely a team that I'm gonna be keeping an eye on, certainly in the beginning of the year, to see if they can level up because it's gonna be they definitely have a lot of potential.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Akeem Messidor, we know he's good, but he's one of the oldest first round draft picks in 20 years.
Yeah,
He's 25. I mean, that he's an old man. He's older than a lot of guys that have been in the league for a few years now. And kind of have proven themselves into be a star. So he's behind on the eight ball here. So he has to prove himself pretty quickly. Because sharp reality is he doesn't really have much time left already, and he literally just
yeah,
got drafted, which is a shame. But he could be good, man. I mean, he's in a good situation with the Chargers. Um, he, I'm trying to think of how to word this. I guess he's in a good situation being lined up with Khalil Mack. Because it's kind of they can work off each other. But Khalil Mack's a little older as well,
he is.
so two older guys kind of working together. I understand Messenger literally just got drafted like 2 weeks ago, but he's already older. So yeah, but it is a good pick though, nonetheless. I know I'm ragging on it a little bit, but it's a good pick. I mean, he's good off the pass rush. He can mix in against the run as well. He's actually better against the run. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all, and it's a good matchup with Khalil Mack on the other side. So, and they need another edge rusher. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. I think I think it's pretty good, but I think this team definitely has to make one or two moves before we can really take them seriously. Right now, they're just kind of
yeah,
the little brother in LA that we kind of ignore because Stafford's so good, you know. So
right,
we gotta wait to see them level up, and I do think they have the potential. They just have to make one or two more moves.
yep,
Okay, number 23 overall, Eric. What was it?
yeah. With Malachi Lawrence from UCF, going to Dallas, he's an edge rusher. Good pick. He's explosive. He can move well. Um, Flies off the edge. I mean, he's really quick, man. And so that's another good pairing up. I think Dallas had a pretty good first round overall because they traded back from the Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles wanted Makai Lemon. They originally had the 20th pick, so why not just trade back, get the guy you want? You know he's going to be there. Safe play. So yeah, smart for Dallas's choice. But then again, you're trading to a division rival, so how smart really is it? But Malachi Lawrence is going to be there, so why not? He's really good. We saw what he did at UCF all year, so why not? It's a good pick, and they've loved him since the start. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, they obviously have to stock up with no Micah in the building.
right,
Um,
right.
so this
I don't
helps
think
that.
you'll fill the shoes of him, but I mean you
No,
can't. But
absolutely not, absolutely not.
it's a
But
start.
I agree. You know, I believe off the top of my head, I believe last year's first round pick was also an edge rusher. So they're doing what they can to fill that
Yeah,
hole. Um, and you know, we'll see what happens. But I think it's only it's an okay pick. It's fine. It's not going to move the needle though. And
no,
Dallas has been waiting for a move that moves the a pick that moves the needle for a long time,
yeah,
long
since the
time.
'90s.
And this still won't do that. So
Yeah,
uh, you know, it is what it is. It's fine. It's whatever.
yep.
But yeah, not a lot of thoughts there. Okay. Number 24 overall, the Cleveland Browns picked Casey Concepcion, the wide receiver out of A&M. Uh, yeah, I mean, solid pick. The offense obviously needed help. Concepcion was a really solid wideout for A&M. A year that A&M really was able to level up. I mean, they didn't go deep into the playoff, but they were undeniably one of the top, 15 or so teams in the sport, and Concepcion was a major factor in that success. Yeah, it's not a bad pick, but we said it earlier, man. Like, who's going to throw to him? Like, it's hard to get too excited about a wide receiver pick with Cleveland right now, considering scrubs are going to be throwing to him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an okay pick.
Um,
He has ability, but I just Eh, meh. I'm a big meh on this.
I don't know. I like the pick. I mean, we saw what Harold Fannin, the tight end, was doing last year. I mean, he was a top 10 in the league rookie coming in with Shador Sanders throwing the football. I mean, if the Browns can actually get a quarterback, this is a pretty good team, but they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah,
So that's where the root of the problem start. Casey Conception, not bad. I kind of wish they went with Omar Cooper Jr., to be honest, who went, I believe, in the second. Or no, sorry, he went 30th. But anyway, I wish they went Omar Cooper Jr. because Casey has some drop issues. What is that?
yeah,
10.3% drop rate. That is not really that good. That's pretty high. It doesn't sound that high, only 10%, but that's pretty high for a guy who goes in the first round. I understand he led the team in yards, receptions, touchdowns last year. Great wideout. He was a key part in that. I think it was the South Carolina comeback
yeah. South
last year
Carolina.
against
Yeah,
yeah, against South Carolina. So he can step up, but like you said, who's throwing the football? I don't know. So, um, but he could be one of those kind of plug and play guys where he can just be good anywhere. I hope that's the case. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the drops because like that playoff game against Miami with that they lost at home. I mean, he was awful in that game.
Yeah,
So not a great final look for him going into this draft, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it's only an okay pick because no one's there to throw to him, but he definitely
exactly.
has
Yeah,
he has potential to be a really good, really solid receiver. I don't know about number one, but I think he has the potential to be number two. I think he's really,
yeah,
he's got
yeah.
he's got
I agree,
that
man.
ability. So we'll see.
Agreed.
Okay, what was number 25 overall?
Yeah, the Bears selected Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. He's a safety. Good pick, man. I mean, why not, right? The Bears need they kind of had some balls fly over their heads at the safety position last year. So why not go out and get this guy? I mean, he's really good. He fell pretty far in the draft because not too many teams needed safeties. This is amazing value um, for this guy here. I mean, he is so good. He's one of the top safeties in the country last year.
Yeah.
So, and I understand he might be a little bit of an underlooked guy, but he was an All American, and then all Big Ten honors, and which he played at Oregon and Purdue. But still, I mean, I know Purdue's not the best team, but he transferred obviously to Oregon, who is getting there as a team, and he helped. So, yeah, I like this pick for the Bears. It's what they need, and it's amazing value.
I think this is an excellent pick. Dude, Thieneman was so good last year. He was one of the best
Yes.
safeties in the sport. His
Yep.
performance against Penn State in Beaver Stadium, he was amazing in that game. He was so good. He covered Harrison Wallace so tightly. I mean, the guy couldn't get away from him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
He's
really
yeah.
talented. Most of the mock
He
drafts did not have him fall that far. So it was pretty
no.
shocking to 25. And as soon, honestly, dude, as soon as that came on the TV screen, I was like, home run, bingo, you nailed it.
Honestly, man,
Like
it
it's a
really is. I mean,
great,
he was right. It's like he's like the second tier, but it's hard when the first tier is Caleb Downs, but I
of
mean, he was
course.
there. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? I mean, he is that this is a great pick. I completely agree with everything you and I were both saying because it's I mean,
yeah,
this is a huge pick. It's
yeah,
really good. I love it.
yeah. I think as you said, the Bears, the deep ball definitely hurt them.
Yes.
Because and it created a situation where Caleb Williams had to have how many final drive comebacks. I mean, I lost track of how
Oh,
many
oh,
fourth quarter
yeah.
comebacks Caleb Williams had to make. And it was very impressive to see Caleb do that, but you can't do that every year. I mean,
Right.
that's asking way too much of your quarterback. You have to try to prepare for that. And that results in, help, acquiring safety help. And I think Thieneman is a slam dunk pick. Slam dunk, one of the best of the first round, in my opinion. I think this is
Mhm.
easily one of the best picks that any team made in the first round. This was a home run, complete home run. Okay, guys, number 26 overall, the Houston Texans picked guard Kalen Rutledge out of Georgia Tech. Um, okay. I mean, again, who's he going to be blocking for on the O line? Because CJ Stroud, with his performance against the Steelers and his performance um, against the Patriots in those two playoff games. Those two performances run you out of town. He's done. I would be shocked if CJ Stroud was allowed back into the city of Houston. I mean, it was that bad, dude.
They can't
So the
go
Texans,
Davis Mills.
yeah, like the Texans have no quarterback right now. So why go with a
No.
guard? Like I know, I just
Good point.
he was okay for Georgia Tech. I mean, he had a solid play. Georgia Tech is a respectable team. So he obviously played against pretty good competition, and he does have some ability. I just don't think the O line is really what they should have been prioritizing. Um, so I'm not a big fan of this pick. I don't hate it, but it's not good.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think it's more of a safety pick with the offensive guard position, because they did just get David Montgomery, the Texans did. So maybe it's kind of a pick leaning more in that direction. Because CJ Stroud, I mean, he doesn't really need protection, in the sense where, I mean, he can just run, to be honest. He uses his legs really well. I don't really know what happened
Yeah.
to CJ Stroud. I don't know why he hasn't been playing good because he had such an amazing first year, and even second year wasn't terrible. But I think this is more of a pick leaning towards David Montgomery, um, because they want to block for him, and why wouldn't you want to block for David Montgomery? He could easily
Yeah,
be a star player for you. So that being said, go get an offensive guard. This is the perfect guy to do it. So yeah, I like
yeah,
the pick, but
yep,
there could have been better options. I mean, there was better options on the board, but it kind of makes sense.
yeah, yep. Completely agree with
Um,
you.
yeah, the 27th pick now, the Dolphins selected Chris Johnson from San Diego State, cornerback. Good pick. I mean, the Dolphins literally could have picked anyone and it would have been good. They could have picked me and it would have been
Yeah,
good. They need
you're right.
a body on the field. And this is the guy to do it though, man. He's actually really good. He had 4 interceptions last season, 2 pick sixes. That's what you want to see because they need to get interceptions, to turn the ball over. Just get it out of the other team's hands because your defense is horrible. Then turn the ball over, your offense sucks too. So there's no upside really for playing for the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
yeah,
So sorry, Chris, but you're in for the long run. But yeah, this guy's good, man. He's really good. I understand he's kind of an possibly an overlooked prospect, and he's not playing the best competition because he is at San Diego State. He was in the Mountain West, but still, he's a good player. I mean, he ran a 4.40. Um, he can keep up with probably one of the top receivers in the league. So why not? Might as well.
yeah. I mean, the Dolphins secondary was so bad that anything in the secondary I think would have helped. And Chris Johnson, as you said, because he was in the Mountain West, was undeniably an overlooked prospect. So this is one of those picks that the combine helped. You know how every year there are one or two players at the combine who have who deliver performances that scouts say, "Ooh." Chris Johnson was
Yep.
definitely one of those players because no
Yes.
one played him. You don't watch him play. No one watched him play during the regular season. I'll tell you that much. I don't think last year we watched a single San Diego State game for this show.
No,
So
no. I
I
couldn't even
think
tell you
I
how many
think
wins they had.
yeah. So like Chris Johnson didn't get a lot of attention. And so I think this is a really solid pick considering I think a lot of people could be sleeping on his ability. Now he obviously has to deliver on that. And he is in Miami, as you said, so the odds aren't exactly in his favor. But
Right.
I think he's definitely got some potential. So I think it's a really solid pick for the Dolphins.
Yep, I agree. They can't go wrong.
Yeah. Number 28 overall, the New England Patriots picked offensive tackle Caleb Lomu out of Utah. Um, he was really solid for Utah last year. Again, Utah definitely had a collapse in the middle of the year that kind of derailed their season. So as the season went on, Utah didn't get as much national attention. So Lomu kind of flew under the radar. But he was a really solid starter at left tackle for a couple years for them. So yeah, I mean, keep protecting Drake May. One of their starters, I can't remember if he's the left or right tackle, but Morgan Moses, one of their starting tackles, is 35. So he's getting near the end of his career.
Yeah.
You need another tackle to replace him. And I think Caleb Lomu is a really solid slot. Really solid player to fill that slot for the Patriots. So hopefully he doesn't take the wrong lessons and cheat on his girlfriend like his coach did. But I think I think I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Um, but I think this is a really solid pick for the Patriots. Keep protecting Drake May. That's the name of the game, and they're doing it. So solid pick.
I agree, man. Yeah. Great pick. I mean, he didn't give up a sack all last year. Now, you know who else didn't give up a sack his entire college career was, I believe, Will Campbell. And he was an absolute traffic cone in the Super Bowl.
He was.
But maybe the 1-2 punch could be good. I know it's a 1-2 punch offensive lineman, but both these guys are really good. So if you got them on opposite sides, they can work off of each other. Um, Will Campbell just has to get it under wraps, and Caleb Bloom, I think he'll fit right in. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yep. Completely agree. It's a good pick.
Yep.
Okay, number 29.
Um,
Who was it?
yeah, the 29th pick, the Chiefs selected Peter Woods, defensive tackle from Clemson. Another good pick. I mean, Chris Jones is getting up there, man. He's what, 32, I believe.
He's already
So
32. Oh
yeah,
my
which
god.
is crazy. And he could walk. I mean, he had that big holdout. What was that? Just last year, I believe. He
Yeah,
didn't play for a couple games. I mean, he's a diva, man. Just all
yeah,
the Jones brothers. There's something going on with them. But Peter Woods would be a good replacement for him. He can line up pretty much anywhere. He can line up at the edge, defensive tackle, which is his actual position. But he can line up at the edge. He's really good. So I like the pick. He good in pass rush. Just can kind of filter in on the run game. You can work a little bit more on the run game with him. But I mean, pass rush is outstanding, so there's nothing really wrong with this pick. Because I mean, Chris Jones is getting up there, and he's probably going to leave soon if they don't win a Super Bowl, which they will not. Really, like you said, probably for the next 2-3 years. So good pick for the Chiefs. Good, honestly, good fit for Peter Woods too. Protecting Mahomes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that the Chiefs went with defense with both of these first round picks because I
Yeah,
think, like you said, they know Chris Jones is starting to show some age, and they know that he really only has 2 to 3 more years of peak performance. He'll play longer than that, but in terms of operating at his peak, they don't have much more time left of him. So they're playing. They're trying to help him out as best they can. Um, and I think it's a solid pick. I don't think it's an amazing pick, but I definitely think it's a solid one. So, uh, Peter Woods, a lot of those Clemson defenders are ballers, right? I mean, they're
yeah.
very physical. That'll definitely help. So yeah, he could make some noise. I think it's a really solid pick for the Chiefs. Yeah, agreed. Okay, number 30 overall, the New York Jets selected Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver out of Indiana. I mean, I'm honestly kind of surprised that he fell near the bottom of the first round. I mean, that catch against Penn State, it's one of the greatest catches you'll ever see. He almost
Yep.
single-handedly got drafted because of that catch. I'll say it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, man. I mean, they needed a compliment to Garrett Wilson. Um, and they got it. Um, I think they were honestly. I would be shocked if the Jets truly believed that Omar Cooper was going to fall all the way to them again at 30 when they drafted Kenyon Sadiq at what was it, 15 or 16? 16. I think they just honestly thought that Omar Cooper was not as dynamic an athlete as Kenyon Sadiq, and I think you can easily make that argument. But Cooper was on the best team and had one of the best quarterbacks and was one of the number one wideouts in the playoff. Um, he was really solid for them. So I think this is a great pick. I think that him and Sadiq. I mean, those are two really good offensive weapons. The two of them and Garrett Wilson. I mean, if this Jets offense sucks again, it's all Geno Smith's fault. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, they probably will. I mean, he has weapons
Yeah,
around him.
you're
I mean, dude, Geno Smith, I seriously don't know how he's still in the league. Um, why teams keep getting him, I don't understand. Now he's back with the Jets. Poor Omar Cooper Jr. He is such a good talent, and he's just going to be wasted exactly like Garrett Wilson is right now. Garrett Wilson is trying so hard. I honestly don't know how he hasn't gotten out of there yet, to be honest, or why. I guess he doesn't mind. He's getting paid anyways, but I mean, I don't understand it. But yeah, man, back to Omar Cooper Jr. He's a great player. He can play anywhere in the slot. He can play outside. He can even line up in the backfield if you really want him to catch a swing pass. Because why not? And he might really have to do all of that for the Jets because the Jets are horrible. So we have no idea who their quarterback's going to be. So poor Omar Cooper Jr. Welcome to hell, but it's a good pick. So you can't really pass on him there. Good pick for the Jets, but I mean, it's not gonna really do anything because nobody
yeah,
knows who the quarterback's gonna be. So
yeah, you're right, 100%. Okay, pick number 31 overall. What was it?
yeah, 31. So Keldrick Falk goes to the Titans. He's an edge rusher from Auburn. Yeah, good pick. I mean, the Titans, they're stocking up. You see them stocking up a lot on offense, not too much on defense. So I like this pick a lot. They need an edge rusher. Why not go get him? So, not too
Yeah.
much for me to say, really. They've beefed up their offense. Now in the later parts of the round and even later parts in the draft, even if you look at their draft, they want a couple more defensive guys, which I don't mind. They need defense, because their offense should be set up to be in a pretty good spot, and they have good coaches, so why not?
Yeah, this is obviously a Robert Saleh pick, and
Yeah.
I think Saleh has proven that he definitely knows what he's doing on defense. Whether he can manage an offense is definitely up for
Well,
discussion.
questionable.
But I think he undeniably knows what he's doing on defense. So, yeah, I think this is a really solid pick for the Titans. Not much to add. I agree with you. I think it's
Yep.
solid. And then the last pick of the first round, guys, number 32 overall, the Seahawks picked Jadarian Price, the backup running back out of Notre Dame. Um, not really exciting. I mean, they had to replace Kenneth Walker, so they just drafted him. I mean, he was a really solid backup to Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
Better one of the better backup running backs in the sport, but he was never elite, and so I think going from the Super Bowl MVP to Jadarian Price is a bit of undeniably a bit of a step down. But
Yeah.
Price definitely is a he's not a scrub, so maybe he'll deliver. But I think right now we have to see how Price can handle the physicality of the NFL, which is it could either swallow him whole or he could thrive. So we have to see how he develops. But right now, I think the pick's only okay.
Yeah, I agree. I kinda hate to say this, but I don't think this is gonna work out, as much as people think it will. Zach Charbonnet, he's a great running back. He can carry he might be able to carry the load of being a RB1, maybe? We saw him a little, we saw him now the Seahawks, they don't really have, like, a set RB1, obviously Kenneth Walker took over, but Zach Charbonnet, I mean, he's been in the mix for maybe 2, 3 years now, just kinda under the radar, underrated guy. Then you go out and get Jadarian Prince, who is a backup in college to one of the best, running backs in the country, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't think he has enough experience. I understand he was really good at the college level. The NFL is a different game. Faster pace, bigger guys, better opponents. And especially at Notre Dame, who are you playing? So, I just don't think it's gonna work out. It could be a great 1-2 punch, don't get me wrong, with Zach Charbonnet, who is bigger than Jadarian Prince, Price, but also might not work out. It could bite them, uh to know later to come, but we'll see how it works out. I hope it does work out though. I mean, I like him, but I just don't know if it'll kinda I mean, I just don't know if he has enough experience, that's all.
Yeah, and the experience thing is definitely uh, the big question mark, right? But I
Right.
think there's undeniably potential there. So we'll see how he does. Camp is going to be critical for him. You know,
Oh,
the
1000%.
coaches are really going to have to sit him down and teach him route running and
Yeah.
the like because it is going to be that's going to be critical for
Yes.
him to find success. So we'll see how it
Yeah, I
works.
mean, you could say even first round was a little bit of a reach for him,
Yeah.
even with the last pick, but
Yep. Yep. I agree. Okay, guys, that is it for our NFL draft coverage. It was a long episode, so thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it, as always. Um, as per usual, we during our off-season episodes we post every other week, every other Wednesday specifically at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both YouTube and Spotify. Please like, comment, follow, and subscribe on both platforms. We really appreciate your support. Overall, I think this was a pretty solid draft for everybody. I don't think too many teams really um, fumbled the ball. I mean, I think really just the Saints were the big
Saints,
losers.
maybe the Rams, but
The Rams
yeah.
definitely are up there. But most teams were okay or better. So it was overall the drafting choices weren't too bad. But yeah, I've seen more exciting drafts. But
Yeah.
I've certainly seen less interesting ones. So it was an interesting watch to say the least. Um, I guess we'll see how a lot of those picks work out. Drew Aller, I'll be waiting to see what he does.
Oh, jeez, man.
That's a pick that I will be analyzing for the rest of my days. I mean, having a quarterback room of Aaron Rodgers, Will Howard, and Drew Aller in 2026 is not what I would want even remotely. So, but it's looking like that's what it's going to be. It is what it is. But yeah, a lot of interesting picks. I'm glad we were able to go over the entire first round. There was a lot to say. And yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks with a lot of exciting news that we've been putting off. We really want to talk about Brendan Sorsby. We will be doing that in 2 weeks because Eric and I have a lot to say about that. That's what a shit show, man. That's absolute insanity. There's a lot to say about that. There's a lot to say about the new CBA that the refs signed. There's a couple other stories that we'll be covering, but we'll be doing that in 2 weeks. So thank you so much for listening to our draft breakdown. Eric, is there anything you want to add before we go?
Yeah, just comment down below. Pretty much just give some feedback on the picks, what you guys thought of them. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Me and Danny both. So
Yeah, do you think we were wrong? There were a couple picks that Eric and I disagreed
yeah,
on. There were a couple picks Eric and I disagreed on, but for the most part, we agreed on all of these. So if you disagree, please tell us. We would love to hear your
yes.
thoughts. I'll do my best to respond. We would love to hear your input. It's definitely gonna be interesting to hear your takes. So thank you again so much for listening to this episode. Eric and I are really appreciative. We'll be back in 2 weeks to cover more news from the world of football. Until then, I'm your host, Dan Sisk,
And I'm Eric Schroeder.
and we'll see you then.